Hello and welcome to a follow-up video on my Xbox video that I made last year. So I got to thinking, and I realized after I reorganized my Xbox games, so this column here is all Xbox now, and over here is now all my Switch and PlayStation games. And I got to thinking, this section is really small with the Series X. And yes, I covered on this last time, and how there's just not as many games for the Xbox that is being made, but then I got to thinking, down the line, collecting for the Xbox Series X is going to be pretty difficult, and that's going to be for two reasons. The first and foremost reason I did cover on the first time, and that's because with Xbox Series X games, the game isn't completely on the disc. Now, a lot of people online like to point out that, physical media is pointless because the game isn't fully on the disc anyway. Well, that's really only true in the case of the Series X. With PlayStation 5, I'd say at least 90% of them are fully on disc, and there is a website where you can verify if it is or not. But typically, even in the case of things like Baldur's Gate, where you need multiple discs, it is in fact on the disc, and you don't have to worry about downloading it. Yes, you won't have the latest version, but it'll still play. With a lot of the Series X games, that's not the case. You put the disc in, it'll install what it can, you'll make it through about 5-10% of the game, and it says, hey, to get the rest of this, you need to download the patch. With the Switch, I'd say you're looking more at 100% of the games are on cartridge, and if they're not, you get a warning. On the games where you have to download something, they have a huge banner across the top of it saying, Internet download is required. So you're getting a very transparent, in-your-face thing saying you are going to have to download something to play this game. So you can avoid those if you want to, and you can have all of this that is 100% on cartridge. I can take any of these games, take a brand new Switch that has never been online, and I can play every single one of these with no problem. That is not 100% true here. So we're really at the mercy of how long are they going to keep the update servers going. Now, we still can update a PS3 and an Xbox 360 today, and those have been out with the 360 going on now, would you believe, 20 years? Oh, that is painful to say out loud. But besides that admission of age, we can still do that for now. How long is that going to still be the case? We don't know. We don't know how long that'll be the case either. But that leads into point number 2, and the fact that the print numbers on the Series X are just minuscule compared to everything else. You can go to most stores and you can find everything on Switch still. You can find the majority of things still on PS5. But I've noticed, which I've touched on this before, that the Series X quantity of games out in the public is dwindling very fast. I've gone to Targets where the whole case is missing. I've gone to Walmarts where the display case, let's say there's 3 columns of games. One will be DVDs, one will be almost completely empty, and the third one will have like 1 copy of each thing. And this isn't just for, games that have been out forever. I tried to find the Indiana Jones game, and I've gone to multiple Walmarts and Targets in my area, and I have not seen it once. Now, I did travel all the way to Orlando, and when I was there, I happened to see it in a Walmart. But other than that situation, the place where I had to order it was Amazon. Now, I did also have some gift cards that helped out with me ordering it through there, but just the point remains, it's hard to find it. And even in that Walmart, there was only 3 copies. The other game that I've ordered recently was the game Scorn. Now this one, the only way it seems to get the disc version is if you buy the deluxe physical steelbook with art book, all this stuff edition. I have never seen that in a store. The only place I seem to find it is eBay. Now on there's only a couple of listings. One of them is in Australia and they want like $200 for it for whatever reason. Then there's a couple more at reasonable prices. Now normally, the only way that I can afford all this is if I shop clearance. So what I typically do is I wait for some games that maybe at full price, $70, like, I can't justify that. 60, it's still too much. When you get into like the 50s and 40s is where you're starting to get into like first party Nintendo games. I can still wait. Eventually, they will be on eBay. For everybody out there, they will go on eBay for at least $15 off. You can get the majority of the first-party stuff on there for roughly $40 instead of paying $50, $60, $70 in a store. But still, there are some more games where I'm like, yeah, 40, I don't know. 30, okay, maybe. 20, all right, now you're getting a little more appealing. 15, okay, I'll pick up a lot at 15. Occasionally, there's some games where I really don't want them that much, But when they hit like $10 or less, then okay, that game is good enough for me to pay $10 for. And the one that really fits that bill is Forspoken. This game, the reviews were so mixed where they say the gameplay is very good, but the story and the dialogue are really garbage. For $10, like, okay, it's worth trying out. Originally I wanted this, I watched some reviews and I'll hold off. But for $10 I wasn't going to pass it up. That's going to be really difficult to do for the Series X where the print numbers are so low that we might not ever get to that point. Now, yes, I do still find Series X games on clearance. In fact, in the last video I talked about the South Park Snow Day game, which I picked up, I think it was for $14 or $15.99, something like that. It was on clearance. Stuff like that, where you have multi-platforms where I can jump between. I'll still pick it on the system where it's cheaper. On games where they're not top of my priority list, but it's something I wanted to pick up and check out one day anyway. That's how I play this game. I'm very patient, as the Patient Gamer sub on Reddit will tell you. Some of us will wait years to get a discount on some games just because that's the only way we can do this. But in the situation where you have games that have such a low print run, finding Scorn on eBay for $50, that's the only time I'm ever going to find it. It's probably never going to go below that, and we're probably going to end up where eventually, maybe, it'll be worth a lot of money. Now, I don't collect for the money. I always say, I hope this whole collection is worthless one day. I hope they reprint every single one of these in the millions. I want this to be worth nothing because I want everybody to experience all of this. I think everybody should have access to all this stuff and not have to spend $1,500 on a single copy of something. But will that happen one day? It's really hard to say because historically Xbox games haven't really been worth that much. You can still collect for the original Xbox and not have to worry about things being too expensive. Same thing with the 360. It is very, very true for the Xbox One. If you really want to get into collecting something, Xbox One is a great place to start because I'd say 99% of the library is worth $20 or less. But will we end up there one day with the Series X? It's really hard to say. So at this point, I'm just picking things up, anticipating that maybe they're just not going to print them and I'll never find them again. It's that whole fear of missing out thing. And yes, I could find these games on other systems because Xbox is so happy just to give you a PlayStation version, and apparently they're going to start putting them on Switch number 2. So going forward with the next Xbox, whatever they're going to call it, whether it's going to be running on a potato or if it's going to be running on their own hardware, it's going to get to the point where there's almost no reason to get it because you're not going to be able to find any physical games because they probably won't make them. And this is really going to be the swan song of physical Xbox collecting, and it's going to be pretty difficult. So if you're into Xbox collecting, maybe now's the time to kind of keep an eye on things because they're slowly dwindling down and they're just not going to print any more copies, at least not in the quantity that we're used to. So I hope you enjoyed, and if you have a similar experience, just let me know. If you found some secret stash of Xbox games somewhere, let me know about that too because, you know, it's getting pretty hard out there. And I'll see you next time.